Welcome back, my furry friend lovers. How are we all doing today? I want to say welcome. This is Skelly by Nature. Here on this channel, we discuss many things of nature and natural things pertaining to things like animal and human behavior, using natural diet to beat simple ailments, foraging for fun and survival, all kinds of topics that we tend to cover here. But today I am going to focus on a follow-up video of one of my previous videos, and that was choosing the proper breed for you and your family. Well, today this video we're going to do as a follow-up, and this is going to be pertaining to bringing a new dog home and the things that we're going to need to be prepared for this. So stay tuned. So today we're going to talk about some of the things that we need to have when we are getting ready to bring a new dog to our house. Things that we need to do around our house, things we need to have in our house, things that we're going to have. So today I got my lovely assistant. This is little Teddy. Say hello, Teddy. Hi, everyone. I'm Teddy. So this is my little pup, Teddy. And also to let you know, Teddy is recently become a rep for packleashes.com. So any of the stuff that I do cover that is on their website, you can go to their website, packleashes.com. I'll put a link down below. And with our promo code, with Teddy's promo code, you'll get an extra 20% off of your purchase. So after this video, if you want to take a look at what they've got, I'm hoping we can also get you an extra discount on that by using Teddy's promo. So Teddy just ran off. Maybe he'll come back. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the things that we're gonna need to be prepared and ready for bringing a new dog to our home. So we'll start off with some very simple things, very common things. Simple things like you're going to need a collar. You're going to need a leash to go with that collar to take your dog for a walk. We're going to need water bowls and a food bowl. Things like poop bags, dog treats, food. Crate if you're going to plan on crating your dog, which I do tell people, whether you plan on using a crate a lot or not, you should always crate train your dog because you never know in the future what's going to behold. So for instance, if you go away and you have to put your dog in a kennel, your dog's going to be put into a crate. If your dog's not used to that, then you're going to cause your dog stress while you're away. So I tell people it's always a good idea. Training or crating a dog is like a baby in its crib. Okay? We use a crate to keep our dog safe. We also use a crate because dogs do look for a crate-like environment to make themselves feel comfortable. They like having 3 walls around them. So if you don't provide a crate, a dog's going to find a nook or a cranny in your house and use it as a crate-like thing. Like I say to people, a crate to a puppy or to a dog is like a crib to a baby. Use it, get them trained on it. And the other reason is if you plan on flying somewhere, you got to have your dog in a crate, and if your dog's not used to that crate, it's going to whine and cry, and again be stressful for them. So another good reason to crate train your dog. Some of the other typical things is toys. Obviously, every puppy and dog needs toys to help with boredom, help with teething, help with all kinds of other things that are natural to dogs. So those are and skunk remover. And I always tell people, always get skunk remover. It's a cheap product. Stick it under your sink, put it somewhere away. I always say skunk remover is one of those things that hopefully you never need to use it, and I just wasted $10 of yours. But I can say this, if you ever do need skunk remover, it's going to be at night. And you're going to need that because you are not going to probably be able to run to the pet store and go get skunk remover. So have it there and ready to be used, because when your dog gets sprayed, it's most likely going to be at night. Pet stores are going to be closed, and you're not going to have any skunk remover. So Nature Miracle makes an incredible skunk remover. I've done all of the different skunk removers. I've done the tomato paste. I've done every trick in the book that you can think of. And the Miracle skunk remover is actually incredible. It's been the best product. So make sure to have at least a little bottle of that available, because like I said, when you need it, you're going to want it on hand. So those are the things that I basically tell people that you are kind of must needs. Those are all things that you're going to definitely want to have on hand and ready before you bring your dog home. Then there's going to be some extra things that you necessarily don't have to have, but they're good to have. Again, a lot of these things are just kind of, $5-10 items. So to spend the money, have them on hand. If you use them, you use them. If not, at least if you have to have them, they're there. And so I'm talking about things like pee or stain remover. If you're bringing home a puppy, you're obviously going to have accidents in the house as you're teaching the dog to puppy train, or to house train your puppy, I should say. We're going to have accidents. We're going to have times that the dog's going to surprise us. So you're going to want to have pee and stain remover on hand. Other things like puppy pads. Just because you have puppy pads down on the ground and your puppy might use them, you're going to probably find that a lot of times your puppy pees just on the outskirts of them. And so again, having the stain remover is also good to have. Things like a car seat belt for your dog, if you plan on traveling or you plan on bringing your dog places. I'm one that, on nice days that are nice, I like to bring my dogs with me if they're gonna, enjoy sitting in the truck and on a good day. A car seatbelt helps train your dog to stay in the seat. It makes it so they don't bounce around your car. It makes it so that they stay safe inside your vehicle while you're in maybe doing a couple errands. So car seatbelt is a good extra to have. The other thing to think about is training devices, things like clickers and different training devices that you might need to use, whether it's a halty or a harness or things like that. Those are other things to kind of have on hand that are nice to have. And if you plan on doing some training, long leashes or a long lead, I'm a person personally as a trainer. When I'm dealing with puppy classes or I'm dealing with advanced training, we get into using long leads to practice and train for long distances on long distance comes and things like that. So I like to have a long lead on hand, as well as sometimes I use my long lead that, if I'm going to go out for a walk and I just kind of want to let my dog get some energy out and run around a little bit, and I'm not too worried about him being right around me, I'll let my dog run around on a long lead, and that gives him a little more rein to wander around and sniff things on the walk. So I'm one, again, I like to have a long lead on hand. And if you are doing some training, or you're going to be training a puppy, or training a dog that's new to your house, something like a treat pouch is always nice to have on hand. That way you can have treats ready, whether you keep the treats just in the pouch, that way you always know where they are. Is another great thing to have on hand. So now we're going to get into the maintenance of your dog and the things that you're going to probably need to help maintain your dog. Things like combs and brushes so that you can groom your dog throughout the year. Again, some dogs, their grooming maintenance is slightly different. Some dogs you need to be groomed on a daily. Some dogs you can kind of let go, and they don't need to be brushed as often. So and also there's different types of combs and brushes. Some dogs have different types of hair. We have curly hair dogs, we've got long hair dogs, we've got double coated dogs, wire hair dogs. And a lot of these dogs need different types of brushes. So there are different types of brushes. So when you go to your pet store, don't be afraid to ask them what type of brushes you're going to want or need. Sometimes it's multiple brushes. I'm one that I keep a flea and tick comb on hand, so that way in the summertime, I can always run a flea and tick comb through my dogs, make sure there's no fleas or ticks on them. But it's not necessarily a grooming tool. Whereas that you might want to use a horse rake if you got a dog that's a very big shedder, something like a husky that has a deep undercoat. Sometimes having them outside and just giving them a good horse rake is the proper tool. Some dogs, you've got different types of shedding brushes and common brushes and things like that, so look into those types of things. Shampoos is another thing that you're going to need for maintenance. Every dog again has different maintenance schedules. Some dogs you're going to want to shampoo and bathe them a couple times a year. Some dogs it might be a monthly thing. You could have a dog that might be a dog that likes to roll around in the mud and get dirty a lot, or you're going to be out in the woods or something like that. So, and again, pay attention to the shampoos. Again, these are things that you can either ask me down below in the comment box or talk to somebody at your pet store, and they should help be able to guide you to the proper shampoos. Other things that you're going to want to have is things like nail clippers. If you take your dog out for walks consistently and you're walking on concrete or pavement a lot, or like me where I have a lot of concrete walls and patios in my backyard, so my dogs are running on those and they file their nails down. But you still need to have nail clippers on hand. Even at a young age, it's always good to get them, whether you clip their nails or not, it's always good to get them trained on and used to a nail clipper. And that way, later on in life, if you need to use it, they're not scared of it. So, air cleaner is another thing that is good to have for maintenance purposes. Again, dogs have different levels of how dirty their ears get. Some dogs, if they're, say, a hound and they're dragging their ears on the ground, because that's how hounds work, and they sometimes collect a little more dust and their ears get a little dirtier. Or if you have, say, a dog that has erect ears like a shepherd or something like that, and they're big runners and run around, their ears will get dirty very quickly. So having ear cleaners and cotton balls to go along with them. I use cotton balls, don't use Q-tips, people. You can damage a dog's ears that way if you don't do it properly. So I'm one that I like to use a cotton ball. You get a little ear cleaner on that cotton ball, and you can get that cotton ball in their ears right away. And my dogs love it when I clean their ears. It's one of their pleasures in life. And another good thing to have on hand is puppy wipes. Puppy wipes, they are called puppy wipes, but I use them for all of my dogs, from Tier at 2 years old to Bobo at 16 years old. Puppy wipes are good for, things that, if your dog goes outside and it's muddy out and you need to clean their toes and their feet. Here in New England we have snow, and when there's snowy days, there's ice melt and rock salt all over the place, and that stuff will burn your dog's paws. So if I'm going to take my dogs out for a walk on the street, and the street's got ice melt all over it or rock salt all over it, when I get home, I like to clean my dog's feet so they don't crack or dry out and crack on them. So those are things to have. And you never know, if your dog gets into something, you might need a puppy wipe. They're always good to have on hand. So a couple other things is a toothbrush. If you're going to say plan on cleaning your dog's teeth, so some toothbrush and some toothpaste, doggy toothpaste, is always good to have on hand. Or if you don't plan on brushing your dog's teeth, a good thing to get is there's different variations of different types of toys that can be used to help clean your dog's teeth. They're brushes inside of a bone that the dog can chew on, and as they're chewing on the bone, it's scraping and cleaning their teeth. And again, one thing that you can do is dental treats. I do have some dental treat recipes. I'll include one down below. That's a pure natural dental treat. There are some dental treats out there that you can buy at the store. I will say, do your research on them. Some of them are not so good. Some are good for your dog. Some are not good for your dog. Some break down well. Some don't break down very well. So I'm not going to tell you or direct you where to go or what kind to buy. But I will say, as a warning, do your research on dental treats, because there are some of them out there that are harmful to your dogs. So keep that in mind. So the next thing that I want to talk about, that a lot of us don't actually think about until we're ready to do it, or we want to do it, or need to have it in hand. But is services for our dogs. Okay, and what I mean by that is, our dogs need a vet. If you're going to get a puppy or get a dog, you're going to need a vet. If you don't already have a vet that you prefer, then you're going to need to find one. And so this is something that, again, do your research on different vets, talk to people around you. This day of social media, go ahead, ask people, who do they use for a vet? How do they like it? Find a single vet, one person. I'm one that I like to stick to a certain vet. That way my dog sees the same person all the time. If you're in the Billerica area and you're looking for a vet, feel free, ask me down below. I'll let you know who I enjoy and who my dogs love to go see. But have this lined up and ready to go, because part of it is before you bring your dog into the vet for the first time to get treated, it's always good to bring your dog in, let them meet your vet, let the vet play with your dog a little bit, let it be a positive interaction, and that way you can bring your dog out. Your dog doesn't get prodded and poked with shots and all kinds of stuff, and it avoids kind of your dog's fear of a vet if you bring them in a couple times before they actually start getting worked on. So those are things to think about when you do get your dog. Other things is, like a dog walker or a dog visitor, somebody that's going to come in and take care of your dog. If you're a person who works 8, 10, 12 hours in a day and you're not going to be able to be home for your puppy to let them out, or you want to get your dog some exercise while you're at work, you're going to probably need a dog walker. Again, if you're looking for a dog walker and you're in the Burlington area, feel free, drop me a comment below. I've got a group of people, depending on where you live, that I can refer you to that are wonderful, wonderful interactions that dogs can have, whether it's, someone like my buddy Steve or Robin, that are going to go and pick your dog up and take your dog away for a couple hours and get them beaten up and enjoy their time out. With many other dogs, or if it's just going to be a single dog walker that comes to your house and comes in and takes your dog for a walk and then drops your dog off in a half hour, 45 minutes. But these, again, ask around your area, who do you use, how do you like them, what's their prices. They're all priced differently, they all do different things, so get in touch with somebody beforehand. Same thing with the trainer. Pay attention to, what you're going to do, with your dog. If you got a puppy and you're going to say, just take your dog down to Petco and have them train, that's something that's always a good start, is Petco for your very basic training. They're good, they're cheap, they can give you a good price and classes that are worth, attending. They're good for socialization. Or say you're bringing a dog home from the shelter that might have a couple issues, whether it's a behavioral issue or a house issue or something like that, and companies like Petco don't have people qualified enough to deal with these issues, so you might need somebody like myself who is a behaviorist who specializes in certain types of, whether it's separation anxiety or pulling on a leash or, fearing thunder. These are all things that typically Petco trainers are not qualified for. So you might need to find somebody like myself who is a behaviorist. And then lastly, depending on the type of dog you have, groomers. Okay, groomers come. They're all over the place. I know in my town we have a handful of groomers and services like that. And again, it depends on the type of dog you have. If you got a little dog that is a lap dog, it's going to be cute and pretty. They might need a groomer a little more than say someone like me who, I have Tier. She's an American Pit Bull. She has short hair. She doesn't need grooming. A lot of grooming. She's very easily maintenance, and so I don't use a groomer that often. So those are some of the services that you're going to want to probably have readily available, and know who you're going to use prior to bringing your dog home. That way you have it set up and ready to go. So now let's actually get into actual prepping of the house. Things that you're going to want to do: take a walk around your house and do before you bring your dog home. That way you can avoid, say, different types of problems that may occur because you didn't do it. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is remove small objects. If you're bringing a puppy home, puppies are just like babies. They put everything in their mouths. They're going to try everything. A puppy does not know what a cord is until they put their mouth on it. They don't know to stay away from it. An electrical cord ain't nothing but a pull toy to them. So keep that in mind, that you're going to want to remove any small objects around. If you got any little small trinkets that are on their level, whether it's on a lower shelf or a decorative shelf or something like that, you're going to want to kind of either raise them up out of the dog's reach or put them away somewhere for a little while. So that's one thing you're going to want to do, is take a look around. Is there any objects or things that might get your dog in trouble or hurt or harm your dog? So those are some of the things. Another thing is be aware, protect your furniture. Some dogs like to chew on things. If you bring a dog home that likes to chew on sticks, then a dog that chews on sticks, then your wooden furniture is just as nothing but a stick. If your dog likes to chew on plush toys, then your couch is nothing but a big, huge plush toy. If you're a person like myself who allows my dogs on the furniture, I like to have a protective covering, because for me it's easier to remove the protective covering, throw it in the washing machine, clean it, get it clean. It keeps my couch a little cleaner than, say, having to clean my couch all the time. So whatever you need to do to protect your furniture, whether it's taping off corners or putting child protective things on sharp corners or things like that. So pay attention to protecting your furniture. I previously quickly mentioned dogs chewing on wires. So another thing to do is look around. See if there's any exposed wires, any exposed cords that your dog can get into that, if they bite into it and they're plugged in, and you've got a tiny little 3-4 pound puppy, you can really hurt your dog in a major way if they bite into that and get electrocuted. So, again, make sure that all wires and cords, even your cords that you use to charge your phone or your iPad or your laptop or anything like that, make it so that the puppy isn't going to get itself in trouble. And we got a puppy. You gonna come up, Teddy? Come on, Teddy. Come on. So we got a little teddy back. You wanna lay down? So, so one thing that I tell a lot of people too, as an option, if you're going to be, say, bringing in a puppy or a dog that might not be house trained, is remove any rugs, any area rugs that you might have, because a lot of times they tend to find those spots, and that's where a puppy likes to pee. And rugs are a little harder to clean than, say, a hardwood floor. So you can roll up those rugs, tuck them away for a little while, until you know your dog is house trained, and then you can bring them back out again. And so that's one thing to keep in mind, as an option. Another thing to do too is setting up a puppy area. If you're going to have a puppy, keep in mind, if you're getting a young puppy, these puppies have spent the majority of their life, whether it's 8-10 weeks old, month, or whatever. They've been living in a whelping pen most likely, or some type of grooming, breeding area. And sometimes it's nice to have an area for them to call their own, whether it's a crated area. Set up a little area for the puppy to be able to have his own little space. Sometimes dogs like to just go and be able to lay down and have a little quiet time to themselves. So those are the things about prepping your house. The next step is prepping the family, okay? And this is a step that many of us tend to forget about. And what I mean by prepping the family is, before you bring your dog home, it's always good to establish the rules that you guys want to have for your dog. That way, when you are training your dog, things are going to stay consistent. You don't want somebody doing one thing while the rest of the family does another thing, because you're going to confuse your dog. So, if everybody is going to not allow the dog on the furniture, that means everybody needs to not allow the dog on the furniture. That doesn't mean, I can do it because I'm dad, or I can do it because I'm mom. Set the rules, establish the rules, make sure everybody knows the rules, and that way you guys are ready to be to bring in a new puppy. The other thing too is have designated duties ready to go. That way you know what you're doing, who's going to do what. Mom might feed the dogs, daddy and the kids might walk the dog, kids may need to play with the dog, someone might need to groom the dog. So these are all there's so many duties that are involved with your dog, and sometimes it's nice to just have somebody set to these duties, or you could do it as a shared thing as well. But as long as you guys have an idea of what's going on, who does what, it makes it so that, you're not bringing a dog home, and next thing you know, nobody wants to take the dog for a walk. You're going to want to make sure somebody's covering every duty. So, and then with that being said, one of the best things to do, one of the last things I'm going to talk about, is set up a routine. One of the best things for dogs is a routine. If you can get your dog into a daily routine and keep that routine very timely, you'll find managing your dog and getting your dog to do things it becomes a lot easier. If your dog's going to pee on a schedule, you can do that. You can get it set up, and your dog will know that. And having a set up routine also helps with what's going on in your life as a family. That you'll know. Okay, we need to be home at 4:00 because Mom, I'm going to feed the dogs at 4, and at 5 we're going to take the dog out for a walk. And so by having a set up routine, it makes your dogs understand your life a little bit better, and how your routine is. And it also, again, like I said, it makes it a little easier for you to adjust and know what your daily schedule is going to be like so that you can be home for certain times. So these are the things that you're going to want to do or have on hand before you bring your dog home. And so if you've watched this video, and I hope this information is very informative to you, I hope you've gotten some use out of this, and I hope you guys use this list to get yourself ready to bring a new dog home. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, share this with other people, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, because there's going to be a lot more stuff coming along in the future. So until the next video, be beautiful, be awesome.